question generally people ask me is like whether I should choose 3ds Max or Maya, because both of those softwares are from Autodesk and both people can use it for creating 3D models and animation. So which would be the best choice? Let's look into it. Welcome to Expertiser Academy, and if you like my videos, subscribe to the channel. And we're going to do a lot more cool videos, guys. I'm going to do Civil 3D new version of videos, and AutoCAD and Revit, and a lot more videos that's coming up. And stay tuned. And we created a new initiative that's under expertiseracademy.in. You can go and check it out. We added more courses in there, and they're all going cheap, so check it out. And there are actually Tamil as well as English courses before you purchase it, to make sure that it is in English and Tamil. So make sure you check it out. People generally ask me this question, Rahul, which one should I choose? Like, should I go with 3ds Max or Maya? To start with, let's go back to the little bit about their history together. So if you look at it, both of them from Autodesk. When they were actually born, the softwares, like 3ds Max actually been with Autodesk for quite some time. Whereas with Maya, it wasn't actually from Autodesk initially. It was founded by a company called Alias. From there, Autodesk purchased it like around 10 years ago or something like that. And that's because like Autodesk want to get into media side of the business. So to give an example, Autodesk is a company which is well known for the software called AutoCAD. That's been there for like around 30 years now. So AutoCAD is pretty popular. From that point onwards, like Autodesk has been focusing mainly into the AEC industry. So which is like architecture, engineering and construction. So they've been, that's an American company, Autodesk. And then like they had a very strong market. And their competitors, if you look at it, that's been Bentley. So now what happened is like Autodesk has been competing with Bentley. So Bentley is it's a company which had this MicroStation and Open Roads and all of those softwares. So Autodesk is having this AutoCAD. So now fast forwarding for the last 20-30 years and stuff like that, both of these companies have been investing heavily on making softwares into all engineering segments. So for example, they got Revit, and Revit basically had architectural Revit Steel and then Revit MEP. Now they have combined together as in just together as one Revit software. And then they have Inventor, which is for people who are designing products, manufacturing and things like that. And there is like Navisworks, and Navisworks are basically for BIM visualization and timeline management and things like that. And then they have InfraWorks, and which is for you get all the civil and architectural Revit and all of those things that you have built in all of those softwares. You can put it in InfraWorks and you can actually run a cool visualization from that. And that is not meant to replace 3ds Max or Maya or anything like that. That's basically pure for like working with the visualized model. And then we have Civil 3D, which is a pure civil based software that's for pure civil designers and drafters and engineers. And then we had Map 3D, which is just another flavor within Civil 3D or AutoCAD, which is an AutoCAD based version for GIS data. And then we have AutoCAD Mechanical, Electrical, we have Revit MEP, which is for plant design, and we have Fusion 360, we have BIM Glue, and we have Vault, which is for file management. And so you can see like most of those products which comes from Autodesk is like purely aimed for AEC industry, and they've been pretty good at it. You know, they're the market leaders in it. Now, what happened was like around 10 years ago, there is like a softwares which is coming up, such as Blender, Rhino, Cinema 4D, and a lot of those softwares are coming up, and they've been conquering the media space for quite some time. Pretty much Hollywood studios have been using all of these softwares for all the top movies and things like that. So now Autodesk want to get into this market, and that is when they looked into Maya and they purchased it from Alias. And now Maya is part of Autodesk family, and so now Autodesk has got a business right now which is under media. So now you say like now they started adding more softwares like Mudflow and a lot of the other products into the media side of things as well. So now what they're also doing is like, which is the coolest thing, is like they combine softwares where they can actually take data from the engineering products to the media side of products, which didn't happen in the past 20 years. Even now it is like very difficult for most of the pure media side companies 3D animation and modeling softwares. Whereas with Autodesk products, you can actually take OBJ files, you can take KLM files, you can take let's say shape files and STL files, a lot of those typical engineering files into 3ds Max, and you can also take it to 3ds Max to Maya or directly to Maya and all of these options. So this sort of import, export and file exchange options are available within Autodesk products, which makes it really cool. Now, what software I should use, like whether to go with 3ds Max or Maya, it depends on what you do and what you have done in the past. Predominantly, let's say if you are an architect, I'll tell you like list of professions. If you guys based on these professions, I would suggest that you go with 3ds Max. If you are an architect, if you're a civil engineer, if you're a CAD drafter, if you're a mechanical engineer, if you're a mechanical designer or drafter, and if you're a product designer, if you're a plant designer and interior designer, and if you're any sort of engineering that you guys do, in most cases you'll be using any of the CAD products. So anything that you use along with CAD, then you should go for 3ds Max, because 3ds Max is more as a 3D modeling software rather than an animation software. Whereas with Maya, it's a more animation software compared to 3D modeling software. It doesn't mean that Maya doesn't have the modeling tools. Both of them have got very strong modeling tools, but the tools that aimed up here for 3ds Max is for getting some precise modeling out. And 3ds Max also gives you some inbuilt things which Maya doesn't give you, such as Civil View. Civil View was once a plugin, almost like 2006 or 2007. It was a plugin for 3ds Max where people have to download it separately, and that comes with Civil 3D initially. So people install it with Civil 3D, and then when you install 3ds Max, it generally works, because based on the AEC standards and people within the AEC industry been pretty keen to use Civil 3D within 3ds Max. Now Civil 3D, they've taken the Civil View from Civil 3D and they put it inside 3ds Max, and now the standard Civil 3D installation doesn't have Civil View. Now 3ds Max has. Yeah, so now 3ds Max has got more tools. Actually, you can actually bring in from a data and model from other software such as Revit and Civil 3D, Navis and InfraWorks and stuff, and you can take it to 3ds Max and you can actually create a visualization. What do you do within 3ds Max? You can create models, you can create extrusions, intrusions, and you can create basic animation effects. You can put cameras in there. You can make the camera follow through a path. You can create renders, and you can create, there is a lot of render engines right now. Previously it used to be just V-Rays and Arnold, and now you have the standard Autodesk ones, which is not very accurate, but it helps you to create quick renders, and which is generally it's one of those pain points that we used to have for quite some time, because people, when they don't have powerful machines, it's too painful to actually sit and watch the rendering screen finish all the renders, and then we find out there is an issue and then we have to fix it and do another render. So now it makes it a lot easier. So I would suggest 3ds Max for these kind of people. And then, like, when you want to choose a Maya, let's say if you're into media, if you're into film production, if you're studying digital film technology, and if you're going and making, let's say, even visual effects. But remember guys, 3ds Max, just like how when people are choosing 3ds Max, they also have other engineering background and other engineering softwares. The same way, when you choose Maya, it's not just Maya, so you still need to learn a little bit of other things as well. Like some of the people who study Maya, they also study After Effects to do motion graphics, and they also learn Photoshop on Illustrator, because most of the materials that you apply for both of these softwares, you will be editing in some of those photo editing software. So Photoshop is one pretty handy one that generally people use. If you're coming from media side, and if you're actually into fashion technology, product design, character animation, character modeling, so anything actually to do with character modeling and animation, you generally go with Maya, because 3ds Max is not, it's not one of its strongest areas, and Maya is meant for that. And at the same time, if you're into 3D building architecture and things like that, I wouldn't recommend you actually using Maya, because 3ds Max has got real good tools which is meant for that, and they've been actually perfecting it for the last 10-15 years. So that's basically the difference, guys. So if you're going to choose 3ds Max, make sure that you are into the engineering field, and that will be a very good allied skill set that you can have it. With Maya, if you're into media side of things, it's going to be really valuable. All right, cool. And we would catch up in another video, and we'll be doing more videos in this particular series into all of these three softwares, and talk about the job opportunities and things like that. And if you have any specific questions, and just put it back into the comment section, I will respond back when I get some time. And thank you so much for all the love and support, guys, and cheers.